Hey guys, Bix Weir, roadtoruda.com. I am back from vacation. Spent the last week celebrating my 53rd birthday. Old man. Everybody was emailing me, texting me, happy birthday wishes. Thank you very much, everybody. It is much appreciated on the road to Ruda because we take a lot of crap during the year, and every once in a while it's good to be appreciated. So, thank you for your birthday wishes. Had a good time. Exhausting. Try taking your family down to LA, to Disneyland, California Adventure Park, or whatever that is, and Universal Studios, and packing that all in a couple days. It's crazy. Old man like me can't handle that. But I was a trooper, and the family had a blast. So that's what counts, right? That's why we're doing all this. Wanted to talk about a few things. One is, I think, something that has pissed people off all week is the slam down of the price of silver. It is clear to me, it should be clear to everybody, it's been clear for over a decade that the price of silver is rigged on a computer program, and I have outlined in the past who wrote that program, Alan Greenspan, along with other people at the U.S. Fed, to control markets. All markets are controlled. That's how it's done. We went off the gold standard in 71, and it should have crashed 8 to 9 years later, historically. But history has changed because computers were introduced and we are moving into a virtual world. And you can go kicking and screaming, or you can see what's happening beforehand and profit off it. Right now, if you're in the cryptocurrencies like I've been begging and screaming you to be into partially with your silver investment, yeah, you're loving the cryptos, you're hating silver. You're not hating it if you're buying. If you're buying, you're loving it. But here's kind of my take, and I thought about this a lot during the week I was gone. What is happening as far as the good guys? And I have talked to you about the good guys are in the process of taking out the bad guys. If you followed my work, you can see that that's happening. Trump is part of that plan. But there was a faction of the good guys that wanted a smooth transition. If gold and silver were allowed to go to fair market value, as the guys at GATA and all my friends have been screaming about for the last 20 years, it would have destroyed the economic system. It would have killed millions upon millions, maybe even billions of people. Killed them because there's no access to money, no access to food, to water, to anything. Huge deal, gigantic deal, and that is the reason legally in the United States at least this game has been allowed to be played. And it always came down to, like in 2008, it came down to, do you want it to change the control of the system away from the bad guys to the good guys? In the process, you'd kill millions of people in the United States. And that's just something that they couldn't get around, so it was never allowed to happen. So there's a faction of these good guys. A faction just wants to go to a gold standard immediately. Gold, possibly even silver, but there's really not enough silver. And then there's a faction that said we can make a smooth transition, and they determined that a smooth transition would be better than the pulling the Band-Aid full stop. That smooth transition is involving Bitcoin, all the cryptocurrencies. There'll be a lot of crypto companies that go belly up, but there'll be a lot to survive. It's an amazing technological breakthrough that they think will save millions of people's lives because we won't have to go through that crazy transition. It can be a smoother transition as these companies are built up around circumventing the banks. And the banks are the problem, as we all know. So the banks will still die, but there'll be something going on at the same time. So they're prolonging the bank death. That's the reason for the slam in silver and gold and the price suppression. That's been the reason all along. They're prolonging the death of the unbacked fiat system. They're pulling the bad guys out as they can behind the scenes. And they're introducing a new form of currency, a new form of money through the cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin, I love Litecoin. Ethereum is a must-have if you're gonna play in the ICO world, because businesses are being formed around this as well. I just sent out an email this morning talking about a new company called SALT, S-A-L-T, SALT Lending. And what they do is they will lend on collateral, crypto collateral. So if you're a Bitcoin millionaire, like there are a lot out there now, or crypto billionaire, you don't have to sell your Bitcoin you can use that as collateral to get a loan. In the loan is in fiat money. You're not going to get loaned other cryptos. You're going to get loaned fiat money, and the banks are working with Salt. And yeah, nobody wants to use fiat money, but until the world accepts cryptos or gold and silver as money, we're stuck with the fiat US dollar and things like that. But this is an amazing opportunity. The way this company, and it's being run by some brilliant guys within the crypto world. It is a real bridge and a gap kind of around the banks, because the banks are lending and charging a higher interest rate than something else. But these are collateral-based loans based on cryptocurrency collateral. And so if you're a Bitcoin millionaire and want to get a loan to buy a car or something, and you don't want to take the tax hit of selling your cryptocurrency, you can use Salt and give them. You'll have to over collateralize your loan, because that's all they have. There's no credit checks. There's no nothing like that. It's purely a crypto loan. And then if your currency falls below the minimum threshold of the kind of collateral needed for your balance of the loan, then you're going to either have to put more crypto into your account to get the minimum required balance, or they'll just liquidate some of the crypto within your account to get it to where it needs to be. Very efficient way to loan money out, and they're all collateral-based loans. And I think this is a pre-ICO offering at Salt. I think the website is saltlending.com. But you can Google Salt Lending and Bitcoin. I haven't recommended many of the ICOs. I think they're very highly risky, but many of them are the risks get mitigated by you have smart people in there. You got a great idea. You got a great white paper. You have good technology, and then you get home runs like Veritasium. Veritasium, it's already risen from I think it opened up at $2 was the original ICO, and then it went 6 to 8, and then. It really hasn't been traded on a public exchange, but it's trading around, $150, $200 now. And that thing they just announced, Reggie Middleton just announced that he's going to be working with the Jamaican Stock Exchange to create it's basically a workaround of the current exchange. All digital cryptocurrency using Veritasium. Imagine if Veritasium could replace and can replace the COMEX. We would have honest markets. Can you imagine that? Every transaction you could see, where it was done and how much tomfoolery was going on. I do think Veritasium will take the place. And see, that's the thing. It doesn't have to crash the COMEX. It could just be running parallel with the COMEX, and traders will have a choice. Do I use something that you can trust and is verifiable, or do I use the COMEX, which is criminal? And even the banks will move over to Veritasium. The Veritasium crypto exchange, and it would be trading derivatives. I mean, the COMEX is a derivative market, so yeah, there would be some structuring required. The LBMA, that's an easy one. They're almost going out of business anyway. So if you have Veritasium doing what the LBMA was doing with physical commodity exchange, bravo. So Veritasium has a long, long way to go. It's in Cliff's data. Going out a long way. Right now it's around, you can get it for under $200 a coin. I think Cliff's data, when it hits the big exchanges, are going to $500, $600, $700. And then next year, $5,000, $6,000. And then going kind of in parallel with Bitcoin, and maybe surpassing the price of Bitcoin. And by then, Cliff's data has Bitcoin at, I think next year it gets up to $18,000, which is another amazing thing. And his crypto hits are perfect. But remember, this is all part of the plan of the good guys. Good guys control everything now. They've taken the bad guys out for the most part, and now it's just a mop-up operation. So they're going to let the cryptos continue to rise and continue to hold gold and silver somewhere. At some point, they're going to have to let gold and silver go, but they want the cryptocurrencies to build that infrastructure so we don't have the big crash. And the big crash would be literally kill millions of people. But all this is happening right now. So I see when will gold and silver be cut loose? I don't know. It's probably be the end of the COMEX and the end of the LBMA. So you can look at Veritasium and say, that could end the COMEX, that could end the LBMA, just like it will most likely end the Jamaican stock market. Everything will be going from that, it's kind of a crooked market anyway, but it's a $6 billion market. It'll all shift over to Veritasium. And Reggie has signed an MOU with the government to have something ready to go by August. That's how fast this is moving. So how long would it take to approach the NYSE or the NASDAQ or the LBMA and the COMEX to shift those exchanges to a truthful, honest cryptocurrency type of exchange that Reggie and his group with Veritasium are offering? We'll find out. If this Jamaican thing goes well, I think that's a huge sign that everybody and their mother is going to be trying to get into it. But nobody knows about it still. That's the amazing thing. Nobody knows about it. So those are all the things that I've been thinking about while I was on vacation. There's going to be a lot these next few weeks and all summer, truthfully. And JSnip4, my buddy Joe in Tampa, is really deep into analyzing the crypto ICOs. Go check out his YouTube channel. Keep an eye on Cliff High. Anything he gives us as far as Twitter or his reports, you should all have his reports by now. I think he's going to skip a month or two. He's got wrist issues. He works too hard, so he needs to let himself rest, and he's got things going on. So, but if he speaks, listen to me, to what I think's going on, and this is all part of the road to Ruda. The road to Ruda is not just going back to a gold standard and a silver standard. The road to Ruda is about taking out the bad guys and doing it in the best way possible. And it looks like they have chosen the best way possible as being the circumvention of the banks through the cryptocurrencies, these new blockchain companies. And if you're still fighting it, don't. If you only have silver in your investment portfolio, you're going to miss out. When will silver be allowed to run free? I think it'll be allowed to run free when something else is in place. And I think that's coming, this summer and winter. Definitely, you want to be in physical silver. Gold, I don't know. There's so much gold out there, and if you have gold and you're metal at heart, and you have some silver, definitely trade all your gold for silver. I've been saying that for a long, long time now. Gold is a psychological asset, but gold has been money for 5,000 years because there was no alternative. Let that sink in for a second. There's been no alternative to gold and silver as money when the unbacked system crashes. Now there is. So, how will gold react to that? I don't know. Silver is more an industrial commodity than I think it's more valuable as an industrial commodity than it is as a form of money. Because I think there's new technologies coming out that will need a lot more and more silver. Just the current technologies really are, I think, should be running low on silver in the very near future, especially with all the mines going under at, sub $16 silver. Is ridiculous. So the silver moonshot is still waits for us. I still hold my silver. If I have new dollars, I invest them in cryptocurrencies, and every once in a while, I'll when because the cryptos go like this, crocodile teeth is what Cliff calls them. And so we're at the bottom of one of those crocodile teeth now, and it'll have another exciting thing into the end of the month and into August. And those are good times to sell a little bit of your crypto and get physical silver in your pocket, because at some point you're not going to be able to buy any physical silver, no matter what price you can offer. And that that's going to be a very scary time, because that's kind of the transition out of the old system and into the new. Anyway, that's your quick update. I'm back from vacation. I got a lot of work to do, a lot of things I've been thinking about and working on. I will keep everyone informed with what's going on in the battle between the good guys and the bad guys. But right now, it's pretty clear that the good guys are wanting the cryptocurrencies and the blockchain companies to develop, to mature, to become more mainstream before they pull the plug and let silver loose and let the banks destroy themselves and things like that. So that's your update. Definitely get some Bitcoin. Definitely get some Litecoin. Litecoin, I think, will go up substantially more than Bitcoin because it's faster and cheaper, and it will be used by the masses when the banks crash. I think it's right around $50 now, whereas Bitcoin is $2,500. At least the 4-to-1 ratio, because there's 4 times as many Litecoins. So 4 would be $600 Litecoin is where it should be today, and it'll probably go a lot higher than that because of the utility of it. So it's sitting at 50. It should be at 600. It's kind of like silver. Silver should be at 600. So, and it's really interesting because the crypto guys know kind of. I think there's a plan with the good guys behind all this to bring up Litecoin to act as the silver and Bitcoin act like the gold in the new system. So keep an eye out. Very interesting stuff. Very exciting time for anybody involved. If you're involved in it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you're one of the fighters and you're saying, no, it's got to be gold and silver, welcome to the new world, my friends. It's good. This is a technological world we're going to move into. It'll save millions of lives, which is good, and it'll send a lot of these guys, the bad guys, to jail, ultimately. So it is really a good time to kind of break your mind free of your old, staunchy, upheld version that gold is the only money or silver is the only money. It's not anymore. The world has changed, and you're not too late. I know you're kicking yourself for not getting in at Bitcoin when it was, $30, $40, but the rest of the world doesn't know about it still. So those mistakes you made, 6-7 years ago of not loading up on Bitcoin can be fixed by loading up on Litecoin today, getting involved in the ICOs, doing your homework. And yeah, the future is very, very bright for anybody involved in the cryptos. Gold and silver will be a fight because the banks will get destroyed once they go. And with the banks getting destroyed, it's not good for gold and silver as money either because nobody has it. It's kind of hard for the system to crash and go back to gold and silver because it's concentrated in the hands of the few, the very few. But this Bitcoin stuff and Litecoin and cryptocurrencies, it can be held on your smartphone, on your wallet, in a wallet on your smartphone. And a huge majority of the population is moving into that technology. It's going to bypass everything else. Silver will be great for industrial purposes. I don't think it will be used as money. But we'll find out. They might try to do something with it. And the government can come out with their own crypto and back it with something because nobody's going to trust anybody when the system falls apart and the banks fall apart. But they will trust the cryptos that everything is right there. The blockchain ledger is there for everybody to see. And the scarce commodity these days is trust. So it's a no-brainer. I think it's going to go to a crypto type of currency. But silver is going to be great for industrial purposes and the end of the manipulation, which obviously an open form of trading would shine a light on any manipulations, which is great. And that's your update. This is Bix Weir, back from vacation. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you go to roadtoruda.com, you put your email in there, you get a free book, and you get updates on the takedown of the bad guys just about daily. So we'll talk to you later.